Boo. Yes, as Fictional said, please, please, please take note of the warnings. If you're under 18, please go. Maybe. If you have a lot of problems with stuff to do with depression, suicide, things like that, please, 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 as much as I love you, double think being here. It is a very heavy game. It's very difficult to watch at times. I'm not going to think less of you for leaving during it. I like it. It's one of my favourite, like, horror games, kind of. But it is very difficult to sit through. So if you have any problems with anything like that, if you get triggered very easily by things like that, please feel free to leave. I don't remember the game well enough to give warnings when things are going to happen. If anyone in the chat knows the game well enough to be able to give warnings, then please feel free to post when we're coming up to a bit that needs to be warned about. But I don't know the game well enough to remember it. I know when, like, there's a certain point in the game where, like, everything then just goes crazy. Like, after that point, nothing is safe. It just goes crazy after that. But there are, like, yeah, it'll probably be pretty obvious. But I'm also oblivious to stuff, so I'm very grateful, Fictional, if you do warn them. Like, no one will spoil it. If you want to watch it and you don't know about it, no one will spoil anything. But we will give warnings as best we can, because, as I said, at one point of the game, the direction changes completely. It gets very, very dark, very, very fast. We might not be able to complete the game today, so this might have to end tomorrow after I've done some stuff. Before that, probably ramble for 2 hours and show pictures and talk about Scooby. You know, I didn't even talk to you guys about the subathon, which is what I was going to do before the stream. We didn't even get that far. But, yeah. It is a long game, yeah. It took me, how long did it take me? It took me 3 hours to complete it the first time round. Story time. Oh, of course, today's story time. Shit, I haven't found my book either. I'll find my book when Moose is ready. But yeah, yeah, so, we'll warn you as best we can. As Fictional said, it's kind of easy to figure out when things are going to go wrong. But we'll give you a warning. Feel free to leave at any time. Don't feel like you have to stay and support me. I understand. And yeah. Just try to remember that it's just a visual novel. Just try to remember that. It's just the same as the Higurashi story. It's just... yeah. Just stay safe and look after yourselves. There's not as much text. You actually have to pick things in this game. We'll have one. Come here. Come on. Here. There you go. I think Cherry said that the gameplay for Higurashi comes soon. So when we get back to Higurashi, which we'll probably do after Halloween now, obviously, there will be gameplay, apparently. Because it's meant to be just like Doki Doki Literature Club. Just for some reason, there's like 20 chapters of just reading first. Yeah, as I said, like, if you can sit through it all, like, the ending of this game is really impressive. It's really impressive what they did with the ending. But you have to sit through the game, obviously, to see that. And I'm not giving away what happens. Like, that could mean anything. I'm not giving it away. But it's a very good ending. And I don't get I don't get scared or anything very easily. And it didn't scare me, but it did give me a moment of, like, what the fuck? So, it's good. It's good. You're not going to see my original reaction, because I've played this game before. I've seen people play it since then. But... no standing allowed, only sitting. Wow. Yeah, Kim, it really was. I feel bad that I can't react to it naturally. Hey! I see an annoying girl running toward me from the distance, waving her arms in the air like she's totally oblivious to any attention she might draw to herself. That girl was Sayori, my neighbour and good friend since we were children. You know, the kind of friend you never see yourself making today, but just kind of works out because you've known each other for so long. We used to walk to school together on days like this, but starting around high school, she would oversleep more and more frequently, and I would get tired of waiting up. But if she's going to chase after me like this, I almost feel better off running away. However, I just sigh and idle in front of the crosswalk and let Sayori catch up to me. Have good sleep, Shazzy. Ha, ha. I overslept again, but I caught you this time. Maybe, but only because I decided to stop and wait for you. You say that like you're thinking about ignoring me. That's mean, a worker. Well, if people stare at you for acting weird, then I don't want them to think we're a couple or something. Fine, fine. But you did wait for me after all. I guess you don't have it in you to be mean, even if you want to. Wait a minute. My nose is now so blocked. Give me a sec. Hey, Garth. Sorry, I just... You know when you're blocked up and you can feel like you're going to start, like, coughing and sneezing a lot because your nose is blocked? I just needed to get all the snot out. We got the snot out. You don't need a content warning on this game. You need a content warning on me because I am disgusting right now. Also, give me 1 second again. Yeah, have good food, fictional. You should be back before things get crazy. Yeah. Whatever you say, Sayori. We cross the street together and make our way to school. As we draw near, the streets become increasingly speckled with other students making their daily commute. By the way, worker, have you decided on a club to join yet? A club? I told you already, I'm really not interested in joining any clubs. I haven't been looking either. That's not true. You told me you would join a club this year. Did I? I'm sure it's possible that I did, in one of our many conversations where I dismissively go along with whatever she was going on about. Sayori likes to worry a little too much about me, when I'm perfectly content just getting by on the average while spending my free time on games and anime. Aha! I was talking about how I worried that you won't learn how to socialise or have any skills before college. Your happiness is really important to me, you know? And I know you're happy now, but I die of the thought of you becoming a NEET in a few years because you're not used to the real world. You trust me, right? Don't make me keep worrying about you. Alright, I'll look at a few clubs if it makes you happy. No promises, though. Will you at least promise me you'll try a little? Yeah, I guess I'll promise you that. Yay! Why do I let myself get lectured by such a carefree girl? More than that, I'm surprised I even let myself relent to her. I guess seeing her worry so much about me makes me want to ease her mind at least a little bit, even if she does exaggerate everything inside of her head. The school day is as ordinary as ever, and it's over before I know it. After I pack up my things, I stare blankly at the wall, looking for an ounce of motivation. Clubs. Sayori wants me to check out some clubs. I guess I have no choice but to start with the anime club. Hello? Sayori? Sayori must have come into the classroom while I was spacing out. I look around and realise that I'm the only one left in the classroom. I thought I'd catch you coming out of the classroom, but I saw you just sitting here and spacing out, so I came in. Honestly, you're even worse than me sometimes. I'm impressed. You don't need to wait up for me if it's going to make you late to your own club. Well, I thought you might need some encouragement, so I thought, know what? Well, that you could come to my club. Sayori. Yeah? There's no way I'm going to your club. Meanie. Sayori is vice president of the literature club. Not that I was ever aware that she had any interest in literature. In fact, I'm 99% sure she only did it because she thought it would be fun to help start a new club. Since she was the first one to show interest after the one who proposed the club, she inherited the title vice president. That said, my interest in literature is guaranteed to be even less. Yeah, I'm going to the anime club. Come on, please. Why do you care so much anyway? Well, I kind of told the club yesterday I would bring in a new member, and that Suki made cupcakes and everything. Don't make promises you can't keep. I can't tell if Sayori is really that much of an airhead, or if she's so cunning as to have planned all of this out. I let out a long sigh. Fine, I'll stop by for a cupcake, okay? Yeah, yes, let's go. Hi, I see you're playing a perfectly normal dating simulator game. That's no twist at all. Yes, that's exactly what we're doing. And thus, today marks the day I sold my soul for a cupcake. I dejectedly followed Sayori across the school and upstairs, a section of the school I rarely visit, before being generally used for the third-year classes and activities. Sayori, full of energy, swings open the classroom door. Everyone, the new member is here. I told you, don't call me a new member. I glanced around the room. Welcome to the literature club. It's a pleasure meeting you. Sayori always says nice things about you. Seriously, you brought a boy? Way to kill the atmosphere. A worker, what a nice surprise. Welcome to the club. All words escape me in this situation. This club is full of incredibly cute girls. What are you looking at? If you want to say something, say it. Sorry. Natsuki. The girl with the sour attitude, whose name is apparently Natsuki, is one I don't recognise. Her small figure makes me think she's probably a first year. She is also the one who made cupcakes, according to Sayori. You can just ignore her when she gets moody. Sayori says that quite quietly into my ear, then turns back toward the other girls. Anyway, this is Natsuki, always full of energy. And this is Yuri, the smartest in the club. Don't say things like that. Yuri, who appears comparably more mature and timid, seems to have a hard time keeping up with people like Sayori and Natsuki. Ah, well, it's nice to meet both of you. And it sounds like you already know Monica, is that right? That's right. It's great to see you again, a worker. Monica smiles sweetly. We do know each other. Well, we rarely talked, but we were in the same class last year. Monica was probably the most popular girl in class. Smart, beautiful, athletic. Basically, completely out of my league. So having her smile at me so genuinely feels a little... Yeah, you too, Monica. Come sit down and work, and we made room for you at the table, so you can sit next to me or Monica. I'll get the cupcakes. Hey, I made them, I'll get them. Sorry, I got a little too excited. And how about I make some tea as well? The girls have a few desks arranged to form a table. As Sayori mentioned, it's been widened so that there's one space next to Monica and one space next to Sayori. Natsuki and Yuri walk over to the corner of the room when Natsuki grabs a wrap tray and Yuri opens the closet. Still feeling awkward, I take a seat next to Sayori. Natsuki proudly marches back to the table, tray in hand. Okay, are you ready? Ta-da! Oh! Natsuki lifts the foil off the tray to reveal a dozen white, fluffy cupcakes decorated to look like little cats. The whiskers are drawn with icing and little pieces of chocolate were used to make ears. So cute! I had no idea you were so good at baking, Natsuki. Yeah, well, you know, just hurry and take one. Suri grabs one first, then Monica, I follow. It's delicious. Suri talks with a mouthful and has already managed to get icing on her face. I turn the cupcake around in my fingers, looking for the best angle to take a bite. Natsuki is quiet. I can't help but notice her sneaking glances in my direction. Is she waiting for me to take a bite? I finally bite down. The icing is sweet and full of flavour. I wonder if she made it herself. This is really good. Thank you, Natsuki. Well, why are you thanking me? It's not like haven't I heard this somewhere before? Made them for you or anything? I thought you technically did. Sayori said, well, maybe, but not for you. No, you dummy. Alright. I give up on Natsuki's weird logic and dismiss the conversation. Yuri returns to the table carrying a tea set. She carefully places a teacup in front of each of us before setting down the teapot next to the cupcake tray. You keep a whole tea set in the classroom. Don't worry, the teachers gave us permission. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book? I guess. Don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuri's just trying to impress you. That's not... Insulted, Yuri looks away. I meant that, you know. I believe you. Well, tea and reading might not be a pastime for me, but I at least enjoy tea. I'm glad. Yuri faintly smiles to herself in relief. Monica raises an eyebrow and smiles at me. So, what made you consider the literature club? I was afraid of this question. Something tells me I shouldn't tell Monica that I was practically dragged here by Sayori. Well, I haven't joined any clubs yet, and Sayori seemed really happy here, so that's okay. Don't be embarrassed. Oh my god, my throat. I've been talking for 2 hours, and now my throat hurts. Well, make sure you feel right at home, okay? As president of the literature club, it's my duty to make the club fun and exciting for everyone. Monica, I'm surprised. How come you decided to start your own club? You could probably be a board member for any of the major clubs. Weren't you a leader of the debate club last year? Well, you know. To be honest, I can't stand all the politics around the major clubs. It feels like nothing but arguing about the budget and publicity and how to prepare for events. I'd much rather take something I personally enjoy and make something special out of it. And if it can encourage others to get into literature, then I'm fulfilling that dream. Thanks for gifting that sub to Cooper, Killam. Love you. Poor Hannah. You can kind of tell that I'm sick as well. Like, my nose just keeps getting bunged up the more I talk. You can kind of tell. One funny thing about this game is when I watched Adam Pacitti play it, obviously he didn't know what was going on. He thought people were just giving him a porn game or something. He really didn't know what was going on. And he was absolutely obsessed with Monica bending. Every time Monica bends over, he was like, and Monica bends towards me, and Monica bends, and Monica bends. Monica really is a great leader. Yuri also nods in agreement. And I'm surprised there aren't more people in the club yet. It must be hard to start a new club. You could put it that way. Not many people are very interested in putting out all the effort to start something brand new, especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention like literature. You have to work hard to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile. But it makes school events like the festival that much more important. I'm confident that we can all really grow this club before we graduate. Right, everyone? Yeah! We'll do our best. You know it. Everyone enthusiastically agrees. Such different girls, all interested in the same goal. Lurk sub. I'm also obsessed with Monica's bending. I mean, it's much more lively. Adam Pacitti doesn't know anything about anime and things like that. He barely knows anything about our culture. He barely knows anything. Adam Pacitti is so behind on everything. It just really, this game, before it got to what the game is, he just was so confused. He was so confused. He never played a visual novel before. It was so cute. I'm so sad he never saved those streams, because I loved them. I'd like to start a literature club, but I saved one. Same. I've been thinking of starting like a book club on stream, and like reading books on stream. But yeah, that might happen. Probably not, knowing me. I love literature. I love reading. Like, I've got books everywhere around me. I've got a CSI book here. Look, that's a book that's just on the floor right next to me. I've got a pile of books over here. You can't see them because they're behind me, but I've got like 4 piles of books behind me. I just love books. I would attend. I would do a book club. I'm thinking, I'll talk about it later. Someone before I finish, tell me to talk about the subathon when I'm not playing the game. Such different girls, all interested in the same goal. Monica must have worked really hard just to find these 3. Maybe that's why they were all so delighted by the idea of a new member joining, though I still don't really know if I can keep up with their level of enthusiasm about literature. So, Awarka, what kinds of things do you like to read? Well, considering how little I've read these past few years, I don't really have a good way of answering that. Manga. I mutter quietly to myself, half joking. We could start with short stories. A literature club where nobody dies, though. Looking at you, Moose. Moose being called out by Dr. Handsome over here. Natsuki's head suddenly perks up. It looks like she wants to say something, but she keeps quiet. Not much of a reader, I guess. Well, that can change. What am I saying? I spoke without thinking after seeing Yuri's sad smile. Anyway, what about you, Yuri? Well, let's see. Yuri traces the rim of her teacup with her finger. My favourites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to me, and telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive. Yuri goes on, clearly passionate about her reading. She seemed so reserved and timid since the moment I walked in, but it's obvious by the way her eyes light up that she finds her comfort in the world of books, not people. But you know, I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination to completely throw you for a loop? Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately. I read a horror book once. I desperately grasped something I can relate to at the minimum level. At this rate, Yuri might as well be having a conversation with a rock. Really? I wouldn't have expected that, Yuri. For someone as gentle as you, I guess you could say that, but if a story makes me think or takes me to another world, then I really can't put it down. Surreal horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment. I hate horror. Oh, why's that? Well, Natsuki's eyes dart over me for a split second. Never mind. That's right, you usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki? What? What gives you that idea? You left a piece of scrap paper behind last club meeting. It looked like you were working on a poem called Don't Say It Out Loud, and give that back. Fine. Oh my god. I am immortal. I'm happy you're immortal, Solid. At least one of us are. Your cupcakes, your poems, everything you do is just as cute as you are. So Yuri sidles up behind Natsuki and pats her hands on her shoulders. I'm not cute. Natsuki, oh my god. Natsuki, you write your own poems? Well, I guess sometimes. Why do you care? I think that's impressive. Why don't you share them sometime? No. Natsuki averts her eyes. You won't like them. Not a very confident writer yet. I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart. Do you have writing experience too, Yuri? Maybe if you share some of your work, it can set an example and help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers. I guess it's the same for Yuri. I wanted to read everyone's poems. We all sit in silence for a moment. Okay, I have an idea, everyone. Huh? Natsuki and Yuri look puzzled, look quizzically at Monica. Let's all go home and write a poem of our own. The next time we meet, we'll all share them with each other. That way, everyone is even. Yeah, let's do it. Plus, now that we have a new member, I think it will help us all get a little more comfortable with each other and strengthen the bond of the club. Isn't that right, a worker? Monica smiles warmly at me once again. Hold on, there's still one problem. What's that? Now that we're back on the original topic of me joining the club, I bluntly come forth with what's been on my mind the entire time. I never said I would join this club. Sorry may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made any decision. I still have other clubs to look at, and I lose my train of thought. All 4 girls stare back at me with dejected eyes. But, I'm sorry, I thought, Worker, you're all... I'm defensive against 3 girls. How am I supposed to make a clear-headed decision when it's like this? That is, if writing poems is the price I need to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls. Right. Okay, I've decided then. I'll join the literature club. One by one, the girls' eyes light up. Yes, I'm so happy. Sayuri wraps her arms around me, jumping up and down. Give me a second. Hello? Sorry, that was my sister phoning to complain to me about everything that's going on. And I've had to tell everyone for like the 100th time that I'm streaming and I cannot get into anything with my niece right now because I'm trying to stream. Jeez, life is difficult for me, isn't it? So Yuri wraps her arms around me, jumping up and down. Hey, you really did scare me for a moment. If you really just came for the cupcakes, I would be super pissed. Then that makes it official. Welcome to the Literature Club. Thanks, I guess. Okay, everyone. I think with that, we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Everyone remember tonight's assignment. Write a poem to bring to the next meeting so we can all share. Monica looks over at me once more. Awarka, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself. Yeah. Can I really impress the class star Monica with my mediocre writing skills? I already feel the anxiety welling up inside me. Meanwhile, the girls continue to chit-chat as Yuri and Natsuki clean up their food. Hey, Awarka, since we're already here, do you want to walk home together? Hey, you got a minute? "2020 is the year of life being especially difficult." Yeah, that is true. Also, if you're still here, hi, Horny Kid, too. Welcome to the stream. I like your username. And yes, I've played this game before. I've played it before. I know everything that happens in the game. I'm just playing it as a good thing to play. Be optimistic, Cooper, because I have a feeling 2021 is going to be exactly the fucking same. Adam Pacitti actually... I need to find that. I'm going to have a break in a bit anyway, because I'm going to, order some food in a minute with my mum. But on my break, I'll find a tweet that Adam posted. Don't put that out on the universe. See you in a bit, Moosey. That's right, so Yuri and I never walk home together anymore because she always stayed after school for clubs. Sure, might as well. Yay! Yay! With that, the two of us depart the club room and make our way home. The whole way, my mind wanders back and forth between the four girls. So Yuri, Natsuki, Yuri, and of course Monica. Will I really be happy spending every day after school in a literature club? Perhaps I'll have the chance to grow closer to one of these girls. Alright, I'll just need to make the most of my circumstances, and I'm sure good fortune will find me. And I guess that starts with writing a poem tonight. It's time to write a poem. Pick words you think your favourite club member will like. Something good might happen with whoever likes your poem the most. When is the election for you guys? When do you find out who's won the election for you guys? We could have written a poem. You get to... Kind of, yeah. You gotta pick words. I don't even know what to go for. Flower, yeah. Strawberry, wrong one. Mouse, friends, puppy, bubbles, no, heart, oh, ribbon, promise, pink, sweet, rainbow. Oh yeah, and if you haven't noticed, some of the words are kind of weird. "2020 is going to be the year when December has 32 days. Who the hell knows about the election? They'll have to count the mail-in votes, so it could be a while." Fair, fair. Some of the reproductive organs that people try to control, I'm terrified. Yeah. I'm scared for you guys, to be honest. Mum?
Yeah?
Wait a minute. Sorry that I keep pausing the stream, guys. Yo, yo, yo. You do what you gotta do, yeah. American voting confuses me. Yeah, we're just being nervous, but I'll honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm taking a big look at what I feel 2021's going to be with your election. I'm very much hoping the right person wins the election and you show up England for being assholes who can't vote for real Well, we didn't have much of a choice in the last election. I don't care what anyone says about the Tories. Jeremy Corbyn seemed just as bad as a Tory. We didn't have an option last time round. I don't care what people say. So, yeah, like a big indication of where I think 2021 is going to be. It lays on your election, and I very much hope that it goes well for you guys. You see, we have like 1 day of voting. You can do paper ballots, but not many people do them. You have 1 day of voting, and then the next day you know who's in charge of the country. That's why it's like really confusing for me. Like, we do 1 day. And that's it. That's it. After the polls close on that day, they count them, and that's it. Whoever wins, wins. And we're first past the post as well. So, like, there's a certain point where you no longer can beat the party, and the party that gets to that point first is the party that wins. And if no one gets there, then you have either another election, or you do what they did back in, like, I can't remember, when the Tories first got in power, and they did a coalition with the Lib Dems. I mean, you are a much bigger country than us as well. That will play into it. You're a much, much larger country than us. Candy. Shiny. I think we got Natsuki. Hi again, Worker. Glad to see you didn't run away on us. Ha ha ha. Nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange to me, but I at least keep my word. Well, I'm back at the Literature Club. I was the last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. Thanks for keeping your promise, Worker. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you, making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it. Oh, come on, like he deserves any slack. Zuri told me you didn't even want to join any clubs this year, and last year too. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what, but if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it. Natsuki, you certainly have a big mouth for someone who keeps a manga collection in the club room. Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying moniker and manga. Manga is literature. Swiftly defeated, Natsuki pops back into her seat. Don't worry, guys. Arak always gives it his best as long as he's having fun. He helps me with busy work without me even asking. Like cooking, cleaning my room. How dependable. Sayuri, that's because your room is so messy it's distracting, and you almost set your house on fire once. Is that so? You two are really good friends, aren't you? I might be a little jealous. How come? You and a worker could become good friends too. Sayuri? Huh? As usual, Sayuri seems oblivious to the weird situation she just put me into. Oh, Yuri even bought you something today, you know? Well, wait, Sayuri? Me? I'm not really. Don't be shy. It's really nothing. What is it? Never mind. Sayuri made it sound like a big deal when it's really not. What do I do? I'm sorry, Yuri, I wasn't thinking. I guess that means it's up to me to rescue the situation. Hey, don't worry about it. First of all, I wasn't expecting anything in the first place, so any nice gesture from you is a pleasant surprise. It'll make me happy no matter what. Is that so? Yeah, I won't make it a big deal if you don't want it to be. Alright, well, here. Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book. I didn't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention, even if you don't usually read. And we could, you know, discuss it if you wanted. Yeah. I feel like Twitch has been a big help to a lot of people this year who needed distracting through everything. It'll continue to be a big thing for people who need distraction from everything. And I feel people have stopped being kind of so judgmental on what streaming is. I feel people have kind of seen the good side to it. It's getting cold. I'll try my best, guys. I'll try my best to ramble and keep you guys entertained. I'll try my best. This is... How is this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book she thinks I'll like, despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you. I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book. Phew. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Now that everyone's settled in, I expected Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for the club, but that doesn't seem to be the case. So Yuri and Monica are having a cheery conversation in the corner. Yuri's face is already buried in the book. I can't help but notice her intense expression, like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. I hear Natsuki utter an exasperated sigh from within the closet. She seems to be annoyed by something. I approach her in case she needs a hand. You looking for something in there? Freaking Monica. She never puts my stuff back on the right spot. What's the point in keeping a collection organised if someone else is going to mess it up? Natsuki slides a bunch of stacked books and boxes across the shelf. Manga. You read manga, right? Sometimes. Manga is one of those things where you can't admit you're really into it until you figure out where the other person stands. She's looking for a manga stash. I think she's fine with it, mate. Oh my god, I need to go get a drink. My throat. I'm really sorry. This stream has been so disorganized. I will be back in a second. In fact... Give me a little bit. I'm going to go and order my food as well. And then I don't have to stop again in like 10 minutes. Boop, 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 boop. Guys, all be entertaining in this stream. If Killam needs a poll made, Moosey make the poll